Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, and welcome to another shoe. We got a little bit of information going on today that we're going to talk about. Got some articles going on. We got Pete coming over here in just a moment, and then we're going to crank this puppy up. Let's see. I got two people that already jumped over here on D Live. How y'all doing today? Facebook. The only way I know if you guys are on there with me over there is you got to hit me up with a comment or something to that effect. But welcome nonetheless. And of course, we've got the YouTube. Preacher, Question Uncle, PDX Scout, Josh Phillips. How you doing? Plays in the Dirt, Duke Raw. Nice new, what do they call that, avatar? Christy Ledford, Rebel Jack, Margot, of course Margot's here. She's always here. She rocks the joint. Blue Lou. Welcome. Hello, C. Cindy Duff. Gladys Kravitz. Welcome. Donnie Newman. I think I said Rebel Jack already. Let's see if I've got everybody here. Just waiting on Pete just for another minute or so, and then he hits his D Live link. We'll be waiting about twice as long. Anyway, so 12B Georgia, good to go. All right. Now I think we got the whole band back together. Northern Tiger, good to see you. There's your link, Pete. So grab it and jump on in. Remember, not the D Live this time. Not the D Live. We're already over here on D Live. Gunnar Grenna, how you doing? Duke's over here. Good to see you. I'm seeing your twin over here on YouTube, so that's cool. You guys are hit me with a double whammy. How are you? All right. Still waiting. Linda Owner, good to see you. I know Pete's probably over there hitting buttons going, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But he'll be over here in a minute. Anyway, so we're going to open up by finishing off a subject that he was talking about over there. Eldon Gomez, how you doing? I'm going to paste that again because it ended up running over the top. Great Informer. Holy crap. We have a celebrity in the house. Good to see you, man. Liberty Smith, welcome. Just waiting. Tick tock, tick tock. Anyway, I don't want to start without him because this will be good. Already dropping lemons. Appreciate that. Sergeant Bob and Gunnar Granna. Thank you. Melody, welcome. Digital Wave. Virtual Wave back. Jibneil 7, how are you doing? All right, just waiting. Steak 59, good to see you, brother. Welcome. All right. Dangerous Freedom in the house. Eric Schnaut, welcome. Yes, hit that thumbs up, y'all. Let's let everybody know we're doing this because, good Lord, they are cutting my view counts in half. They are hiding this channel underneath the cat's creative poop styles in litter boxes, I think. So I saw Pete blink in here, which means he probably hit the wrong button again. Oh, Death Aside dropped me a diamond. I appreciate the hell out of that. Thank you very much. Josh Phillips in the house. Okay. Cool. That works. All right, come on, Pete. You can do this thing, man. I got total faith in you, brother. Just hit the link. Just touch the link. You'll come up here. I think he just ended up going into a time warp and ended up in a... Oh, he was almost there. Almost got you. If I hit it fast enough, I'll get you, I think. But it keeps coming on and dropping off. All right. Duke. AOC takes the feline to a CAT scan. Yep. Sure enough. You're a vet too. Well, thank you for your service, brother. Appreciate that. I think, unless you're a sister, I don't know. we're all supposed to be fluid neutral genders anyway, so one or the other. Pete will get you for saying virtual. He's the one that told me I was wrong to say virtual. Well, it's sort of virtual. Death Aside just followed. Appreciate that. Yep, we're up to 98 followers over here on D Live. So if you guys haven't yet, let me jump over here. I had Pete. I really did. I had him, and then he went poof. I hit the clicker, and he went away again. He's gonna come on here and be like, "Damn it!" All right. So y'all hit that. See if I got him. Did I get him? I caught you. I caught you on the flyby. I was quick this time.
Did you see it three different times?
Yeah, I was watching you go flying through, and the expression on your face was priceless every time you went flying through the screen. But that was a wild ride. Iron Crane, how you doing? Well, welcome, Pete.
How are you, my brother?
It's been so long since I've seen you.
Yes,
man. I'm hanging, man.
Good.
We're all going broke, and we're all going to die. But other than that,
hey, everything's good.
Complain.
Yeah, everything's
Kelly
good.
22, how you doing? We're going to start this thing off already with something that you were hinting or working on, and that is certain comforts and mercies and other giant white boats that are being parked in strategic locations. Mm-hmm. I got a question for you.
What you got?
Have you heard anything about the pallets and pallets of baby diapers that were loaded up on the board, the comfort today?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess they're expecting an awful lot of babies to come down with the COVID, or not 200, whichever one they're using it for.
What did I do with it? It was over 200, 230, 236 pallets of diapers, formula, all kinds of stuff for children. Yep. Yeah.
That's right.
I don't remember where I wrote that down, but I don't know how. I didn't even talk to you about that.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how we have the same wavelength?
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah, the elites use baby diapers to wash their Ferraris, but the elites are not welcome in these ships, I guarantee you.
No.
There's a rescue operation going on below the news because, of course, the news is up with the Democrat Party and the Satanists and the child killers and molesters and torturers. So it's not in their best interest to disclose what's going on.
No.
But children are being rescued. The number I heard from LA area was 35,000. And I've heard that, haven't heard a number in New York, but I've heard many, many children are being rescued from tunnels in New York. The ones in LA, in that area, were in cages that were stacked like 7 stories tall or some stupid, ridiculous amount like that. And just rows and rows of cages of children. And unfortunately, some of these kids are born into this stuff, and they are specifically born for the purpose of being tortured and slaughtered and, donated to their satanic followers and Moloch and all that.
I have a question for you. When was the last time you heard of an earthquake in Idaho?
Oh, last week, I think.
How about before that?
Yeah, it's been a long, long time. They don't shake too much up there. But also, just so happens I'm a little bit of an earthquake connoisseur myself because I've been in an 8.3 in northern Japan, and I've been in a 7.1 in Loma Prieta quake in 89. So also many, many other quakes between. And there are 2 types of quakes. There's a thrust, and then there's a shake. You don't, in my experience with earthquakes, you don't get a thrust and a shake in the same earthquake.
Nope.
But in Idaho, I mean, I may be totally wrong about this. I'm no geologist or anything, but I've just been through many earthquakes. But where you get a thrust and a shake in the same quake. Explosion. Excuse me. Sorry.
Now, I mean, if you know anything about the tectonic plates, right? That's physically impossible.
Right.
That's physically impossible.
Yeah.
Because the plates themselves, if they hit, right, they hit on a fault line, they smack into each other. That's where you get your violent rattling, your violent shaking.
Right.
Right? When the plates hit,
man,
and then when they go over the top of each other, that's where you get your rolls.
That's when you get your thrust.
That's your thrust, right? You don't get the bang, bang, bang. Then you don't get that. That's physically impossible. The plates would have to move back to do it. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So the only other alternative,
it would also be a cataclysmic earthquake.
It would be more than cataclysmic. The only other viable alternative is an explosion. Right.
Yeah, Gladys Kravitz says the military's been training for underground fights, and that's true. They have been. $500 million in training has been put towards underground combat. So it's a new field, because before this, they didn't have to go fight Satan worshipers and child killers underground, because they were well protected and insulated from their upper echelon in our government and military and Hollywood. So I'm surprised this hasn't started buffering already and shutting down my live feed.
Yeah.
Well, I guess YouTube doesn't care anymore, because they buried my channel underneath cat litter shit videos or something. So they've cut my viewership so far down that I think I might reach, hell, even the people that are in here, I'm probably not even reaching half of them, and they're sitting here.
Yeah.
That's how much they're suppressing this channel. So make sure you all hit that thumbs up. Let people know that we're on here, because
that's very important. That's very important that when you come in, you hit the thumbs up, because the algorithm picks up the thumbs up more than it picks up the people who are in the chat room.
Hell, it will pick up thumbs down. So if you feel like you need to do that, drop a thumbs down on there. I'll take either one. Melody, let me see. My D-Live seems to be pushed over a little bit. I'm missing a word on this. Melody over here says, my best friend is in Seattle, so I've studied all this stuff. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, earthquakes, you can learn them from, you can learn about them in the books, or you can learn about them from actually going through them. And the more you go through, the more you start learning about them. So I can't predict them, but you can sure know what to do based on how the ground feels. And sometimes you can hear a tone, that frequency that is in the air. And when you hear that tone, you just start easing on out the front door and head out in the front yard, because it's just a matter of seconds and you're going to start rocking and rolling.
That's right. Now, I live through.
But anyway, I've been saying that there's something.
Every day.
You know, there are treatments for constipation. You just see your doctor about it.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, that's different. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about something different. But go ahead.
Oh, well, no, please. I wouldn't want to disturb you or interrupt your train of thought.
No. I'm good. Don't make
That's what
me.
She said, right? Hey. All right. Go back to seriousness now. Shut up and straighten up. All right.
That's right.
Now, we are still on the comfort. And of course, you have the uneducated people that are, maybe they're not uneducated, disinformed, and still mildly sleeping, or in complete and total support of the cabal and the deep state. But here's a headline on the same subject. The 1,000 bed comfort was supposed to aid New York it has 20 patients. Well, it's a joke, said a top hospital executive whose facilities are packed with coronavirus patients. They have already made it clear that the ships were not intended for CV patients. They were intended for non-CV patients. Thanks, Melody, for the lemon. All right. It says, though, such were the expectations for the Navy hospital ship USNS Comfort that when it chugged into New York Harbor this week, throngs of people momentarily forgotten in the strictures of social distancing crammed together along Manhattan's west side to catch the glimpse. I noticed that too. So it's only social distancing unless they need a photo op. And by the way, this is New York Times, so full disclosure. I mean, you can hear the left leaning tilt just by reading this stuff. You almost have to read it at a left leaning angle. But anyway, I think we're done with the comfort. We know that more is going on than COVID-19, so this is more and more proof of that.
A lot more.
All right, so the other thing now, we're going to ease up into these a couple of headlines that I pulled up, but I want to talk about some governors.
Governors.
You know, like, hello, governor.
Yep.
Some governors. We have some governors that are squeezing the population so tight that I feel things very detrimental may soon conspire. What do you think about that? Granny, grandma, they were in LA. The 35,000 children were in the LA region in California somewhere. My guess is that they might have come from China Lake or that surrounding area, because that was a very large underground facility that was cavitated.
Yeah.
All right. So, what is your thought on these governors squeeze? You're at ground zero with one of the most psycho.
I don't think they're going to relinquish their grip. To tell you the honest to God's truth, I don't think they're going to give up the power that they have right now. They're going to deem this virus, or whatever you want to call it, a ongoing thing. It's going to be an ongoing thing. They're already predicting it's going to come back in the fall. I mean, every year. It lasts 4 or 5 days, and then it goes away. And then in the summertime, I get a cold for a few days, and it goes away. Okay, they're already predicting summer is gonna hit again. So we're just gonna keep these things enacted until this is over. Well, who's going to determine when it's over?
Right.
The government?
Yeah, they're talking months.
Yeah, months. Lots of months.
We're with the government, and we're here to help. The worst words you can hear, but
yeah. That's right.
I mean, even Dr. Fauci, every time President Trump says we have a good chance of getting a lid on this thing at such and such time frame, then Fauci's in there with his little scrawny rat ass. Oh no, we're going to be out this for months and months and months. We got to really put the pressure on. We got to really keep, or as he said, we got to keep the pressure on. We got to keep people put in their houses. We got to keep going like we're going.
Mm-hmm.
That dude. Do you know that son of a bitch has love letters to Hillary? And there he went. I don't know if that's me or if that's YouTube screwing around. He's going to come back in just a second. Welcome back. Hey, we missed you.
Hi.
All right. Where were you saying?
Dr. Fauci there. I don't really trust Dr. Fauci very much. It seems like he's steering stuff in the wrong direction. And also,
do you know about his love letters to Hillary?
That's I was just gonna say that he was also a very big Hillary supporter, and he was there on the ground in Haiti with the foundation. I don't trust that guy. I don't. Tell you the honest to God's truth.
I don't trust it. I don't trust that other doctor either. The one that wears the scarves to symbolize the, witchcraft and all that. I mean, maybe she's not doing it for that purpose, but it just that's one of their little codes to each other in witchcraftery. So I don't know. I don't trust either of them. They're both deep state that have been in there. They're long termers, so they need to go. Dr. Burks, yeah. I got a feeling as soon as the 30 days is over, people are going to revolt. Yeah, I think that the people in general are going to give them 30 days. We're going to play their game for their 30 days, but I believe that will be it. That they will have a very serious choice to make at that point. Because, for one thing, these cops that are being tyrannical out here, there's a real problem with that, too. Over in your neck of the woods, they're giving people $1,000 fine for going surfing, but a cop has to agree to do this crap. So, serious tyranny going on within the badged community. Yeah.
Give me $1,000 ticket. What are you going to do if I don't pay that ticket? You're going to put me in jail? You're letting nonviolent.
Well, they got a lot of room because they've been kicking all of the prisoners out.
Exactly. You have nonviolent offenders who are leaving jail by the hundreds over here.
Yeah, you got violent ones too.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you something.
You've got a baby raper.
I'll tell you something. A lot of these left-wing wackos who decided that the gun grab was a good thing, a lot of them are changing their tunes. A lot of them are changing their tunes because they were very upset that they couldn't walk into a Turner's Outdoorsman or a Big Five or a gun store before this all went down and couldn't just purchase a gun over the counter. They were very upset about that.
What do you mean you can't just buy it?
Exactly. I think a lot of people who want the 330,000 people who registered to buy a firearm in the state of California were very surprised that those laws are enacted, and they've been lied to the whole time.
Yep.
And now they can't get their firearms because the stores are closed.
Isn't that funny how that works?
That's just hysterical how that works.
Well, then you've got the governors that have I'm going to spit this out in a minute here. Just let me take a break a second. Quite literally are in favor of their own citizens dying. And if they have a problem with me saying that, they can kiss my ever-loving ass because they have a medication that treats this COVID 100%. Okay. Like everybody that's been treated has been cured according to the doctor that has been treating patients. All right. You've got governors that have literally said that they will not allow their people to administer this medication. One of them now happens to be backtracking a little bit, going, "Oh, no, I didn't really mean it." But if you have a life-saving medication and you are governor and you say your people will not be given that medication, then damn it, you are quite content with your people dying. And I would say that to their face just as much as I'm saying it right here and piss on them.
Yeah, well, like I said before, people are not dying fast enough. People are not dying fast enough.
And there aren't enough spreading enough. They wanted it.
Yes, there's not enough pictures of body bags. There's not enough pictures of morgues or pits with people covered in lime. There's not enough of that. I mean, look at NBC. They started running pictures of things that were going on in Wuhan, China a month ago and saying that this is what the New York hospitals look like. Because there are none of that.
Right.
They can't take any pictures of that.
Right. Well, we're going back to the 30-day thing. The reason I say that the Patriots and the veterans will give them the 30 days is because they're getting a $1,600 reprieve supposedly this month. But $1,200, excuse me. The problem is everybody's excited about getting their $1,200, but I got news for you. Everything's so you're going to see how fast that $1,200 goes in a flash, and then they're going to realize they don't have another one coming. There's no other check. There's no other job, and the government gave themselves a 25% raise while the rest of us are in deep shit. So that's why I give them the 30 days. I think that when we hit May, I mean, when you hear the word May Day, I think it's going to have a lot of meaning in the future when it comes to the history of this country. I think that I think bad things are going to happen. So I hope not. I hope they get their shit together and they get this thing figured out before that. But I just have a feeling there's so much pushback from the liberals that I don't know if we're going to get it back by the time May comes along.
I don't know. It just seems like who are they aiming that $1,200 at? They can't aim that $1,200.
The peasants, us are filthy ones.
And anybody that lives in New York, California, Seattle, Oregon, Washington, Chicago, nowhere. That $1,200 is not going to pay your rent for the month. It's just not going to do it. So who are they aiming it at?
Well, supposedly rent and mortgage is supposed to be suspended during this period of time. We'll see if they hold up to that.
That's great. So I can't buy food, right? I can't buy food. I can't buy groceries because there is none.
Right. That's right.
So what are you giving me $1,200 for?
Oh, to go buy gas since it's cheap.
But I can't go anywhere. You're telling me to stay in my house.
Yeah, but you'll have a full tank of gas.
Oh, that's good. Okay,
I mean, come on, you got to think about this stuff here.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, gas is going down, but everything else on the planet is going to skyrocket in very, very soon. Because when you are pumping huge amounts of money into a market that has nothing to spend that money on, there's a little thing that's called supply and demand, and the supply is going to be worn out. The demand is going to be increased, and the money is going to skyrocket. But we're still going to have cheap gas, so we shouldn't be complaining.
Now, can I ask you a question, Alex?
You already did.
I'm going to ask you another one.
Okay, then.
The president knows that $1,200 a month in today's society is nothing. Do you think this is a ploy to drain the Federal Reserve? And then when that time comes,
I'm sure this is
when that time comes for him to say, "Okay, we need to pay you back," or you need to pay us back, he's going to tell them to go F themselves.
Well, they've already reversed basically the possession of the Federal Reserve by they've changed the roles. They've made it now so the Treasury's in charge and the Federal Reserve has to back the debt of the Treasury. So they can only do that for about 7 months with their reserves in the Federal Reserve, which they don't have reserves. That's why they're printing like madmen. So they'll keep it afloat for about 7 months, maybe a little bit longer if they play a few more tricks. But they're going to, within the next year, the ability to support the interest of the debt of the National Treasury will exceed the Federal Reserve's capability. And the Federal Reserve will have to file bankruptcy, and then the Treasury will take over and nullify all of the debt, which gives us the Nesra Jessera kind of thing, which is also known as the Jubilee. So we will see.
Now, but are all signs pointing
the truckers,
to that?
Bobby Fischer. Yeah, absolutely. But,
okay.
Anyway, so yeah, the Bobby Fischer over here just put up a very simple one-word statement that says very much about what's going on, and he says, truckers.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, the truckers are really getting pissed. They had in New York, they had some Yahoo cop over there think it was a really neat idea and might be kind of funny to tow the trucks that were full of supplies waiting to get into New York because they were parked on the side of residential roads so they could catch a nap. So he had these things impounded and towed and all that. And then he goes and he brags about it. Well, I happen to know a few truck drivers. I used to be in the business. They're getting pissed. You watch and see just how fast this country takes a collective shit when the trucks turn that little key backwards and idle down that motor and crawl up in the sleeper and say, I'm just done with it.
Yeah.
Or for that matter, just walk away from them.
Yeah. That's something that people don't realize.
Yeah, they have no idea. Because back in 1992, there was a trucker strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us did. I think that's a go-to kind of business when you're kind of down your luck. But
yeah,
in 1992, they had a trucker strike. I was involved in that, and they went for, I think it was 26 hours that the trucks were nationwide. They all shut down. They said that another 8 hours, let's see, 26, 38. They said 38 hours. So another 12 hours. If the trucks would have been off for 12 more hours, the country would have had a complete collapse. So in 1992, we were 38 hours away from a country collapsing. And that was before this just-in-time delivery thing that they've created like geniuses. Stores don't have warehouses anymore. You can't go there and say there's something off the shelf and say, well, can you go check and see if there's any in the back? They don't have a back. That's all gone. They do a just-in-time delivery. When it's emptied, it's scanned, it's put on a truck that night. Next morning, it shows up at the store. So,
that's right.
Again, 1992, 38 hours. What the hell do you think will happen if trucks shut down for 24 hours now or less? I mean, literally less.
They don't understand that. People don't understand that everything that you touch was delivered by a truck driver or somebody driving a train or somebody driving a boat or somebody operating heavy equipment or somebody putting their hands on it to get to you. But the be-all, end-all is the truck driver. The guy that you see backing into Walmart or Albertsons or the grocery, whichever grocery store you're at. If that guy says, F it, I'm not doing this anymore, you have a lot of problems. This country will fall quickly. Very quickly. Before they can arrange people to drive those trucks.
Yeah, Iron Crane said this isn't completely correct, and I do stand corrected. He says, Alex, some stores like Winco do have excessive stock for some stuff. They do have back rooms with some things. I stand corrected, but I want you to look in general. I'll be careful not to do the in generals all the time, but in this case, there are many, many stores now that do not use warehouse storage, and if they have anything in the warehouse at all, it's typically maybe a couple hours worth. If there's a run on something, it's gone, and it's still 12 to 14 hours away, depending on how fast their just-in-time delivery can be taken. Hello, Tigger. So, yeah, I mean, I won't say all stores. I'll say a lot of stores. But yeah, it is the reality, though. The just-in-time delivery didn't exist in 1992. The general consensus was that you ordered more than you needed and you kept stuff in the back room, and they just don't do that with any kind of numbers anymore.
Nope. Well, I know the store.
Yeah, toilet paper lasted less than 3 days. Yeah. Well, Steak 59 says toilet paper lasted less than 3 days. If they say that we are shutting everything down for 2 weeks or for a month, you just got to imagine what's in the store, how fast that'll go. And one example is right here. We just got paid on the 1st. I get one paycheck a month because it's a VA disability check. So we have to do all our grocery shopping and our bill paying on the 1st, and that way we can suffer through the month, but we know we're not going to lose electricity and all the other stuff that comes along with it. But our governor said that he will be considering a total lockdown order that was supposed to take effect last night at midnight, which was this morning. But when we went grocery shopping on the 1st, that announcement was made that day. And normally our Walmart is, you can get in and get out whatever you need. This looked like an absolute hurricane coming kind of condition. There were so many people in that building, and once they get to the front, it's 6 feet apart. They got the tape on the floor, but every aisle you go into is so crowded you couldn't move most of the time. And the stuff was flying off the shelf. So just imagine how quickly it'll be gone if we get a nationwide lockdown with the panic that's already in the air.
I think that's what the president is trying to avoid, to tell you the honest to God's truth, but the media is just not falling in line. Like I said, they're having a running death toll. There's 1 million people infected.
Oh,
they have a running death. They're trying to stoke the fear.
Right. Jeff B says RFK, granddaughter, 2 members of the Kennedy family, Mauve Kennedy, Townsend McKean, and her 8-year-old son, Gideon, both dead in a canoe accident.
Oh. I said that story when I first broke, but they didn't say they were dead.
Yeah. Well, every single time that we talk about restructuring the Fed, financial reset, all this another Kennedy dies. It's is the Kennedy supposed to be the national threat that, okay, you guys are threatening us again, we're taking out another one of your Kennedys? It's really annoying. It's quite literally stupid.
Why are they even doing what they're doing? Why aren't they on lockdown?
Yeah, well, they're Kennedys.
So they get to do whatever they want?
Well, look at all the elected officials. They get to do whatever they want. It's us, the peasants, we, the pukes. I mean, the people, we are the ones that are to shut up and be like good sheep and get your ass in the barn where you belong. It's not them. Hell, they're out having a good time. I bet the elites are taking their yachts out, and they're probably, well, I don't think they're flying because they shut down private planes from being leased and stuff like that. But if they have a yacht, do you think they're not taking that out and enjoying the hell out of this? Laughing at us, going, look at what we're making these idiots do.
Or there's the other alternative. They're looking for an escape route.
Right. I can see that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As you were saying that and reading it, Preacher just sent me a tweet telling me the same thing. Yeah. I just don't understand why they're out in a canoe. Why are you out in a canoe?
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Look up Ken Prothner, another fear-spreading lunatic. Melody 333 said that on D Live. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but yeah, it's getting bad out here, and we all see it, we all smell it. It stinks.
It does stink.
But anyways, let me let's see. Here's a I want to talk about our supplies, because we know that we've got governors that were hoarding and hiding like they were doing down in Puerto Rico, and the media doesn't care. The public doesn't seem to give a damn, or they can't relate the fact that they had, in Como's case, 35,000 respirators in a warehouse, and he was bitching about not getting respirators. So public just doesn't get that. But here's the headline. It says outrage grows as 3M at 3M for selling masks is while American doctors and nurses suffer. This is so prevalent. Taking care of foreign countries before taking care of the American people it's becoming a revolving issue and a broken record. But it says its outrage is now growing after it became known that manufacturing company 3M is still selling masks to foreign countries while American doctors and nurses can't get their hands on them. This was covered last night on Tucker Carlson's show, who brought on representative from Florida's emergency management team to discuss the issue. In the clip, you'll see, I don't need to play the clip, but the question is quite literal. Why is 3M selling masks to foreign governments instead of Americans during a pandemic? Pete, answer that question for me right now, 100% truthfully, please. Thank you.
That's not happening. That's just not happening.
What?
I don't care what they say. 3M is selling masks to foreign countries above the United States. When those reporters come out and say that the states are bidding for these things and the U.S. government is outbidding them so the government can hoard them and put them out as they please, that is the biggest crock of shit you've ever heard in your life. I'm sorry, but that is.
Yep.
Thank you.
Please elaborate.
Do you honestly really think that 3M, a country that's based in the United States, is going to F over the U.S. government and its own people, its own employees, to make pennies on a mask?
Do I think that?
Do you think that?
Do I? Yes. Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
You do?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Because you know why?
Why?
Think about this. We've gotten rid of a lot of CEOs, and a lot of the elites are, trying to hide and duck and cover and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Who is the CEO of 3M? And is he still connected to the deep state and to the darkness that is within? Wouldn't it be wonderful to do this kind of thing if you could also then go back and say that President Trump is not keeping up with the demand on the masks that are desperately, they'll have to throw, words in there, desperately needed for the doctors and nurses of this country. President Trump is failing us in every possible way.
Yeah.
Think how nice that would sound as a headline.
That would sound wonderful as a headline, but it's just not true. It's just not true. The United States is not allowing personal protective equipment to come in from China. You know that, right?
Were we not allowing it, or were they refusing it? I know they were licking masks and doing all this stuff.
We're not allowing it.
If I caught somebody doing that, I'd beat them to sleep.
That's right.
Well, that's good.
We're also not allowing tests to come in from China. We're not allowing a lot of stuff to come in from China right now.
COVID?
That's right. The ones that gave off
I've been saying
200,000 positives, 200,000 positive things before they were even swabbed.
Right.
Okay, China is going to cease to exist after this. Their whole goal was to collapse the U.S. economy. They've achieved that goal. And now they were saying we are dependent. They want to be dependent on China to get that protective equipment and that medicine and that medication in. And the Trump administration is saying, no, sorry.
Yep. America
so they're trying to ship it to Italy. They're trying to ship it to Spain. They're trying to ship it to France. And England has said, nope, we're not taking any of your protective equipment.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, man, there's something more sinister afoot here than just the cold. Than just somebody getting a cold.
In general, we can all see that. And nobody is saying that this COVID doesn't exist. But here's the problem, that everything's being inflated with it. People that are dying of heart attacks are being told that they are being put down on their death certificate that they died of COVID. So there's an inflation going on, and it's all by design. This whole thing was designed to destroy President Trump, to bring this country to its knees, and to retake the power away from the people by the Democrat Party. So, I mean, there's too much evidence. They can kiss my ass if they want to say, oh, well, that's just fear mongering and false news. No, it's pretty much news with all the facts behind it.
But that's not fear mongering.
Which?
That's not fear mongering.
No, it's getting the truth out.
That's the truth. If you can't see that,
but truth is fear mongering and conspiracy theory now. So they're, in their eyes, there is no truth except falsehoods. Thank you for the ice cream, Melody.
Look, there's not going to be any.
I got another one here.
Huh?
No, there's not.
There's not.
There's not. No, I don't believe there is. This is all of the COVID-19 was released to do this on purpose. There's way too much evidence to say it hasn't.
That's right.
So it was specifically released to do damage to the people, and while it's being used to keep the people in check, it's also being used to do other military operations, to include rescuing children, going after drug cartels, trafficking networks, and all of the things that are going on in the background and have been for millennia. But now they're going after them, and since everybody's looking at the COVID-19, they're able to do it seamlessly to some extent. So
why do you think,
at least that's going on?
Why do you think that the mainstream media does not want to air the president's briefings? They don't want to air the president's briefings because they're telling the people what's going on.
Yeah, that's right. You can't have that.
You can't have the truth out there.
But I wanted to bring up something else to you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, this stuff chokes me up too, believe me.
Tell me.
Interesting headline of the Times. It says here, breakthrough. Scientists say they've developed a Wuhan CB vaccine that can be rapidly deployed. That is amazing. Some of the people that follow me know, I keep reminding you that my father was a physician. In the last 15 years, he did exotic medicine research. And at the time, he was a record breaker for going from research to vaccine in 6 months for the Asian encephalitis. My father found the disease, studied it, created a vaccine, and had it submitted and authorized by the Food and Drug Administration in 6 months. These people are trying to tell us that they have a vaccine that's ready to go, and it's 3 months. Or is it less than 3 months? When did they actually start declaring this thing? When did Australia say that they actually were able to identify the genome? It could be 2 months. But it goes back to what I was saying, that when you have a virus that is a bioweapon, you can bioweapon or even submit it for patent without having a cure for the bioweapon at the same time. And Stony Stone, you can't make this shite up, actually put up videos showing that the virus has a perfectly working antidote. And all of a sudden now they're saying, oh, we've got this thing in record time. What the hell do you think that's about, really?
If that's the case, why aren't they deploying it?
Not enough time yet for everything to spread.
Oh, you see, that's what I'm saying.
They still have to collapse the economy.
If they have this stuff and it can be manufactured and deployed to, say, New York City to save the tens of why isn't Cuomo all over the place? Because that's not the case, people.
Spreading.
There's not enough death, destruction yet.
That's it. It has to. They have to be able to make a good reason for the changes that they've made in this emergency to continue beyond this case. And that's not going to be, they're not going to get that by the people unless they have a lot more destruction, death, and financial ruin.
Exactly.
When everything is destroyed, then people will beg them to take their freedoms away and to keep them. So they're not there yet.
But they're happening right now. And everybody doesn't understand it. I'm going to give you $1,200. I'm going to close your gun store. I'm going to give you $1,200 and $500 for every one of your kids, but you're going to stay in your house. There's your Second Amendment and your freedom of movement. You call somebody the Chinese virus, that's a hate crime. There's your First Amendment. This is not rocket science. You all have to just understand what's going on here. $1,200 is not enough money to take my Second Amendment away. Just remember that.
No. Especially if you want to buy a good tactical, $1,200 is going to get sucked right back up.
I could spend $1,200 on a scope.
Yeah. I mean, it's pittance. It's throwing some pocket change at the street beggar, and they're hoping that will pacify all of the people, and they'll keep being good little sheep and doing what they're told. But again,
President Trump knows,
I think we're going into the 30 days.
President Trump knows that $1,200 and $500 per children isn't even what people get back on their taxes. He knows that. He's not stupid. You're going to file your taxes. You're going to get that, and on top of that, $1,200 extra dollars. It's not going to help anything.
Yeah.
What it's going to do, it's going to take $6 trillion out of the Federal Reserve. That's what it's going to do. And that's the more feasible. That's the more feasible thing here. Not the going to help out the population. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, yeah, there's another thing I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to be rehashing this on my Sunday show, but I wanted to bring it up because it's in the now right now, and that is Captain Crozier's heroic send-off. The captain of the Roosevelt that sent the letter concerned about his crew on the ship and wanting to get them evacuated because of the COVID-19. Well, I have two things that I have real issues with. One of them is the military keeps things close to the chest, because if the world knew what happened behind closed doors in a lot of situations, the military, there's some really nasty stuff that goes on in battle and to protect this country. and people can't handle the truth in many
No.
ways. But this is the paper is the American Conservative. So they say that everybody gave him a hero's send off, and that kind of thing. But then it also, I read a report that somebody submitted a letter from the ship that said that basically they felt like he let them down. But the biggest problem I have with this man was basically saying, let's throw the Roosevelt in dry dock. Let's send all these people home, and let's take a super weapon that is designed to protect this country from all fronts. I mean, it's got its own airport, hospitals, hangars, maintenance facilities, manufacturing, everything on this ship. And he wants to shut it down and put it back in the docks and send everybody home. That's not realistic. And the media makes it sound like, that's the only option, which, it's stupid beyond words.
So, are you trying to tell me? Just trying to tell me.
Thank you for the diamond.
A U.S. aircraft carrier. It's got 6,000 people on it. That every time that somebody on that aircraft carrier gets a cold or gets a flu or gets this or gets that, we need to dry dock the fleet. I just can't see.
That's kind of how it came across.
I just can't see that all 5,000 of those people on that ship are going to have respiratory problems. Can you? No, I can't.
Well, here's the thing. There are 3 fully equipped hospitals on every carrier. And that was another one of my father's landmark deals when he was the senior medical officer of the Pacific Fleet. He realized that there's only 1 hospital on an entire carrier. And basically, if something happens to that hospital, there's nowhere else to do surgery or anything like that. So he built 2 more hospitals in the carrier. And now every carrier that's built has multiple hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
So they can quarantine. They can do life-saving surgeries. They can do everything on that ship that they can do in any city in the world, and probably more efficiently because of the way they're trained for this kind of stuff. So if you have people that are ill, for one thing, when I was in the Army, there were many times when I went straight to work when I was at 103 and 104 temperature. It doesn't matter. You get sick on your own time. If they want you to get sick, they'll issue it to you. Otherwise, you shut up and you get information, and that's what we did. So this idea that they can't function is ridiculous. I don't care if you got body aches. I don't care if you're screaming fevers. They're going to work.
Uncle Question said it's been long enough. If this virus spreads like they claim, we'd all be sick right now. That's absolutely right.
Seems that way.
It seems that way. This has been going on not for a couple of weeks. It's been going on for months. Since December or November of last year. We don't at the rate that they're saying that this is spreading here. And it's kind of funny that that the United States is now the leader and China is not. We've surpassed China in deaths. We've surpassed China in infections. We surpassed all countries and all this stuff. Isn't that amazing? Almost like it was by the statistics made for the United States.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. I just wanted to mention the Death Aside. Death Aside dropped the diamond on me, and he said, "I just discovered you guys today. Great minds." I think he's talking about me, but that's okay, Pete. I'll give you
a little bit. Yeah, he probably is. Because if I take my hat off, my brain leaks out of my ear. It's really sad. So
that's embarrassing. You've done that twice already, and when we've been live, and it just makes a mess.
I know, it's disgusting.
Anyway, so the problem I have, this when Obama was in office, there was an awful lot of purging of the military. He was keeping a lot of yes men and getting rid of a lot of you've got to be out of your damn mind men. So I don't know where this captain falls in this, but it just seemed like a targeted hit on our military by this guy. That's the way I feel about it. He did this knowing that it's going to put a black eye on the military by the public. And it's a very good timing, because why not black eye the military when you have the military deployed throughout the country helping in a crisis and potentially doing things that are uncomfortable to the public? That's a good time to black their eye, right?
That's just an amazing thing, isn't it? It just happened just like that. Ugh. You know what? I'll tell you what, Alex. Sometimes it hurts to be so awake. It hurts.
It does make it difficult.
It does make it difficult, because you just can't look at something for what it is, because it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
By the way, I see Tony, dude. I think he's been in here a while. Don't think I acknowledged him. Tony Patriot's in the house, y'all. Good to see you, brother. Make sure, if you guys don't have him, get over there and subscribe to Tony Patriot, because he's on the same wavelength as we are and spends a lot of time getting truth out. So it's important to help him out. As a matter of fact, in this channel, if you're a content creator and you want to be part of this fight, then I do not mind people putting their links in there, networking, sharing, doing whatever you have to do. This is a free and open society. In this chat, I don't like the editing. The only thing I will can people for here is racism, because that's against my personal constitution, and I have that right since it's my house. But I don't care if they want to vent. You got to drop an F-bomb to make your point more sufficient, then do whatever you feel like you got to do. But I'm not going to tolerate any racism of any kind or any threats to any of the other people that are in the chat. Two things that'll get you squelched, but nothing else. But anyway, any negative stuff, I don't mind them throwing it at me. I don't give a damn. I'm like a duck's back, all feathery and shit. But otherwise, that's all good. Oh, I can't put links if you're not a mod. Oh, yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, sorry. I can't mod people from here anyway, because it's on DLive. I have to be on my YouTube to do it. But anyway, so I do have moderators. So if you have people, just tell my moderators who you are and let them put your links up, and then it kind of gets around that right now. But anyway, just checking to see if there's anything going on over here. Any questions or comments from me or Pete before we get out of here? Because we got about 5 minutes left. Actually, I came in a little early, so we're probably over, but we're going to go ahead and finish up at 5 anyway and close out at the top of the hour.
It's all right.
So you got anything you want to finish it up on, Pete, before we get out of here?
Not really. I just wish people would stop listening to the media. You guys got to get off the mainstream media and get into the alternative stuff. You really do, because that's what's going to give you the real story. Stick with us, guys. We're going to tell you the real story.
Yeah, well, that's our goal anyway.
At least that's what I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. That's the goal.
Yeah, I do that too, and people get so mad. But whatever. I've never been the kind of person. If I got a problem with somebody, that I've never been the kind of person that will jump into the shadows and start talking about I have a problem with them. I'm going to be at ground zero, point blank in their face, and tell them, look, I got a problem with you.
Yeah,
but, that's the way I was brought up. I don't have time for all the games, all the drama, that kind of stuff. If somebody has done something to me and I don't like it, I'm going to come see them. I'm going to make sure that they know face to face that I don't think that's cool. But that's true. Just the way I am. But I'm going to get it out as truthful as I can. And Iron Crane mentioned that he didn't mean to call me out earlier, but I appreciate it, because when I speak in generalities, if I've strayed beyond the reality, then I do need to be pulled back. And that was a good example of that, because I made a generality and it was too general. So I don't have a problem with people bringing me back to the center. That's not an issue.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right. Well, that being said, I think we'll go ahead and let's see. Disabled Vets Perspective. I say Super Panel, Tony Patriot, myself with you and Pete. Let's talk about doing that.
Let me work on that for tonight. We'll see.
Okay, that'll work.
We'll see.
All right. That being said, I appreciate you guys coming to hang out over there on Facebook and D Live. Appreciate all the diamonds and the ice creams and the lemons. You guys rock the joint. My mods, appreciate you guys. You guys keep the house in order, and I'm grateful for that. Everybody who spent an hour with us hanging out, 2 hours for Pete. That's a long time to deal with Pete. Good Lord. You guys are strong. I have, prayers up for all of y'all for doing that. But anyway, I love you, Pete. Appreciate you, brother. DVP, ever wonder why are pouring into blue areas? Yeah, I've been watching militia activities, so not going to discuss it, because just like any military operations and things, like certain things just need to be aware of them, but not discuss them, so that you don't potentially put somebody in danger. So anyway, all right, y'all. Until next time, let's talk about this panel, and maybe we'll do that. But I don't know if I'll be able to do it tonight, but maybe we can do it tomorrow. See about setting up something like that. Give us a day's notice. But anyhow, y'all stay in the fight.